Christmas. Christmas. It's not just about the day. It's about the frame of mind. And you know, Christmas, it's not just about this Christmas. It can also be about that beautiful Christmas memory of long ago. The blessing of love. I remember as a small boy, 10 years old, rushing up to the door of my grandparents. The door opens and there's my grandmother. We called her Mama. And she had that plate of what we called hors d'oeuvres. They were pieces of celery, perfectly cut 4 inches, stuffed with pimento cheese and paprika sprinkled on the top. You took a bite of that, sublime. And over to the left was the Christmas tree. Of course, it was a live tree. It wasn't perfect, but it gave that aroma of pine in the house. And there were those big, big lights in those days, big red bulbs on the tree. And it was covered with icicles, we called them. There were 1,000 of them that gave a certain light to the room. But of course, as a young boy, what I loved was at the bottom of the tree, it seemed like hundreds of gifts that my grandmother had individually wrapped perfectly. The bows were immaculate, all ready to open. My grandfather, we called Pawpaw, he was over at the stereo putting on those great tunes. It would be Bing Crosby, White Christmas. His favorite was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Gene Autry. My favorite was Burl Ives. Do you remember? It's a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Love that song. And then the aroma of the food and the dining table. My grandmother brought out the best plates and the dishes. And there was my grandfather with the electric knife trying to cut the turkey the best he could. And that big bowl of mashed potatoes made with fresh cream and that big dollop of butter melted on the top. But my favorite was the macaroni and cheese. A bite of that. That's a bite of love. The blessing of giving. I find myself about 5 years ago on a beach on Christmas Eve. And it was in Miami. And I wasn't exactly happy to be there, believe it or not. My flight was due to have left that afternoon, and all my friends I was with had already left. So there I was Christmas Eve in Miami, kind of kicking around by myself. And I thought, what am I going to do tonight? So I decided to go to a movie. And there was a mall across the street, an outdoor beautiful mall called Lincoln Mall. Some of you might have been there. So as I went to that mall that night, what I noticed was all those famous stores, Prada, Cartier, all of them are all lit up, but no one was there, of course, except the homeless. They were all lined up on the benches, they had nowhere to go. It was kind of sad, but I didn't think too much, trying to make that movie. So I get to the cinema, beautiful, beautiful cinema. Walk in, there's a giant escalator, I go upstairs, a big line, and as I'm waiting in line, I get a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and it's a homeless, dirty person, and he goes, "Hey, buddy," and I stopped it, and I said, "Hey, you know, I'm trying to catch a movie, Merry Christmas or something," and I went on. I got a tap on my shoulder again. I don't want any money, I just want some of that hot, warm popcorn. Could you give me a bag? I go, I'm trying to catch a movie, you know. And I got my ticket, I walked in, and it hit me, and I went, what did you just do? It's Christmas Eve, he wants a bag of popcorn. I felt so low. I left that movie, I ran down that escalator to find this guy. You know, I went outside, and when I opened the doors, there were homeless people everywhere. I didn't know which way to go. I went a block that way, went a block that way. I couldn't find him. But at a trash can over here, I saw a guy. It wasn't him, but this guy was bent over, half of his body in the trash can, trying to find something to eat. I walked up to him, tapped him on the shoulder, and he gets out of the trash can and he was like shocked, you know. And I said, hey, Merry Christmas. I said, here's $20. I want you to go get you a nice warm dinner. God loves you. Those eyes, I've never seen them like you. Ever. It was the greatest gift I've ever given. What's the greatest blessing? I'll tell you what the greatest blessing is. The greatest blessing is the birth of Jesus. Because Jesus brings a message. And it's that forgiveness. And it's love. And it's peace to all of us. Toastmasters, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah and happy holidays. Madam Toastmaster.